Hello everybody, welcome back to Epic Pwnage News. My name is Russ, and today we're going to continue on with part 2 of the NFL offseason review. Today I have every team from the AFC South and every team from the AFC West. And today we are kicking this off by talking about the Houston Texans. So far, the moves that they have made in free agency and in the offseason in general, they have acquired running back Joe Mixon, improving their lineup at the running back position, acquired in a trade with the Bengals in exchange for a 7th round pick, which was number 224 in the draft this year. They also acquired a running back, Dare Ogunbowale. He re-signed to the team on a 1-year deal. Noah Brown has also re-signed to the Texans as well, and again another big trade that they made. Their GM was being a complete stud this offseason, I think, with all the moves that they made, especially with acquiring wide receiver Stephon Diggs, acquired in a trade with the Bills, along with a 2024 6th round pick and a 2025 5th round pick in exchange for just a 2025 2nd round pick, which came from, coincidentally enough, Minnesota. So Minnesota getting burned again in a Stephon Diggs trade. I think that's the biggest move that they made in this season, or this offseason so far. They had a pretty good draft, improved their lineup a lot on defense, and still rebuilt the defense in the offseason anyway, and improved upon it, just added more depth. This was a team 2 seasons ago that was 3-13 and is now 10-7 last season, and won the AFC South, won a playoff game as well against the Cleveland Browns, and just fell short to the 1 seed Ravens. So CJ Stroud definitely has what it takes, and it looks like they are just going all in on the kid while he's on a rookie deal and building a fantastic, stellar roster around him. I wouldn't be surprised if the Houston Texans wind up, somewhere around 12-5, 11-6. I think 2 or 3 seed would be a good spot for them right now. They also re-signed Nico Collins, who signed on a 3-year, $72.5 million contract extension that also includes $52 million guaranteed. They also got wide receiver Ben Skowronek, who was acquired in a trade with the Rams for a late round pick swap in the 2026 draft. They also got tight end Dalton Schultz, offensive tackle Charlie Heck, Denico Autry, who signed on a 2-year, $20 million deal that includes 10.5 of that guaranteed. Mario Edwards signed on its 1-year deal. Tim Settle signed a 2-year contract worth $7 million. Foley Fatukasi also signed with the Texans. They got edge rushers Derek Barnett and Danielle Hunter in free agency as well. They also acquired linebacker Aziz Al-Sher and Delshon Phillips as well, and then improved their defensive back room as well with a couple of re-signings, getting Mike Ford on a 2-year, $4.5 million deal, Miles Bryant, CJ Henderson, Lonnie Johnson, Desmond King II, who re-signed with the Texans, and Jeff Okudah, who signed a 1-year, $4.25 million deal that's worth up to $6 million and includes $2.5 million guaranteed. They also re-signed safety Eric Murray. They also re-signed Kai Fairbairn to a 3-year, $15.9 million extension per Mike Garofalo and Ian Rappaport, and also signed punter Tommy Townsend. So all around, they just added more depth to their team and re-signed a bunch of players who needed to get re-signed in order to keep that good team chemistry up. I think these guys definitely 12-5, 11-6 next season. I can see them being the 2 or 3 seed and possibly hosting a divisional round game. The Texans also have never been to a AFC Championship game. They're one of 4 teams who have never been to a Super Bowl. So I think with this roster around a guy like CJ Stroud, with a coach like the head coach for the Texans, he was the defensive coordinator for the Niners as well the year before he became a coach for the Texans. Anyway, with the head coach like that and their quarterback situation, I think this team only goes up from here. Moving on, you have the Indianapolis Colts, who ended up getting quarterback Joe Flacco, who signed a 1-year, $8.7 million deal with 4.5 guaranteed per Mike Garofalo, Aaron Rappaport, and Tom Pelissero. They also got running back Terry Sermon just to fill out the depth in the running back room. They also re-signed wide receiver Michael Pittman. Re-signed wide receiver Michael Pittman to a 3-year, $70 million deal with a max value of $71.5 and with $46 million guaranteed. Pittman initially received the non-exclusive franchise tag though. But other than that, Michael Pittman is going to be an Indianapolis Colt for a long time. It looks like they are all in on this kid. He is a tremendous wide receiver. I think that he has the potential to be a true clear-cut number one. Just because the last few seasons haven't been like great seasons. He's had pretty stellar seasons. He's kind of like an Amon-Ra St. Brown type of player, I would say. He's kind of like that. And I think he has the potential to break out and be a superstar this year, so we'll see how that goes. And then they re-sign offensive lineman Danny Printer. On the defensive side of the ball, they get edge rusher Tyquan Lewis back. They get Jannard Avery back. They also get DeForest Buckner, who signed a 2-year, $46 million extension. He was also entering the final year of his contract, so they get that done before any potential holdout situation could take place. They also got Raekwon Davis, Grover Stewart re-signed, Taven Bryan re-signed, Zaire Franklin also signed on a 3-year, $31.26 million extension. They re-signed cornerback and safety Kenny Moore II and Julian Blackmon. They also re-signed Ronnie Harrison and Rigoberto Sanchez as well. So they kept most of the same pieces in place. They get an aging Joe Flacco, who's really on the tail end of his career, who had a really resurgent run with the Cleveland Browns last season. Will he replicate that? I'm not sure. I mean, he'll have a little bit better of a supporting cast, but he'll mostly be depth or a week 1 starter in case Anthony Richardson isn't ready to go by then. So we'll see what happens with that, and when we get to the preseason, what all shakes out. Next up, you have the Jacksonville Jaguars. I guess we'll start at the quarterback situation. So as you all know, Trevor Lawrence agreed to a 5-year extension worth $275 million with $200 million in guarantees and $142 million fully guaranteed at the signing of the contract. But more interestingly enough, though, they traded a 6th-round pick to the New England Patriots to acquire former Alabama and national champion quarterback Mac Jones. So Mac Jones, failing career in New England, gets dealt this offseason after the firing of Coach Bill Belichick, the hiring of Coach Gerard Mayo. This definitely becomes interesting. The Mac-up can be good. He can probably be the next kind of Ryan Fitzpatrick kind of player. Come in, start a game every once in a while, show out for 400 yards, and the next week completely choke for 6 interceptions. Moving on, they have running back Dearness Johnson, who re-signed on a team free agent deal. And then you have wide receiver Gabe Davis coming from the Buffalo Bills, a great playoff wide receiver, shows out in the playoffs. And with Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson at the helm of the ship, I think they'll get a chance to see what primetime and playoff Gabe Davis is all about. He signs a 3-year, $39 million contract that has a max value of $50 million. So a lot of guys getting paid this offseason has been the theme. And then they get wide receiver Devin Duvernay, tight end Josh DeGora, and offensive guard Ezra Cleveland, center Mitch Morse, center Tyler Shatley, offensive line Blake Hance, all signed to the Jaguars. So a completely new offensive lineup. Mitch Morse coming in, I think, is a pretty good move, just to extra protection for Trevor Lawrence, so you don't have a repeat of what happened last year. And most importantly now, to moving on to their edge rushers and defensive line and defense overall. They re-sign Josh Hines Allen to a 5-year, $150 million deal that includes $88 million in guarantees. He did receive the non-exclusive tag, though, from Jacksonville initially, but ended up agreeing to a 5-year deal, so that'll keep him tied to Jacksonville for a while. They also signed Travis Gibson in free agency. They also signed re-signed Foye Olokin to a new 4-year, $45 million deal that includes $22.5 million guaranteed. He was entering the final year of his deal this year. Then you get defensive lineman Eric Armstead coming straight from the San Francisco 49ers, so the Niners lose a key piece there, and the Jacksonville Jaguars improve their defensive line in their front seven. So they can go back to the glory days of being Saxonville, possibly. You know, you got Trayvon Walker, Josh Hines-Allen, Eric Armstead. Now you get Trevis Gibson in the mix. It's going to be pretty nasty what they have for the front seven. And in the backfield, I mean, you have cornerbacks Ronald Darby and Trey Flowers signing new team free agent deals. You also have safeties Darnell Savage and Terrell Edmonds coming on to the team as well as kicker Joey Sly signs a 1-year deal with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Moving on, you have the Tennessee Titans. They signed quarterback Mason Rudolph to a 1-year deal. They get running back Tony Pollard, who agreed to a 3-year, $24 million deal. Wide receivers Tyler Boyd, Calvin Ridley, and Nick Westbrook-Ekine all either signed or re-signed to the team. Ridley signing a 4-year, $22 million deal, Boyd signing a 1-year, $4.5 million deal, and Nick Westbrook re-signing to the team on a 1-year. They also get tight end Nick Van Nett, offensive guard Shadiq Charles, and Lloyd Cushenberry at center, who agreed to a 4-year, $50 million deal that includes $26 million fully guaranteed and a signing bonus of $18 million. So fat boys are getting paid too now. Then moving on to the defense, you get Sebastian Joseph Day, fantastic meat for the for the defensive line. That was per Jason McCourty. You also get linebacker Kenneth Murray, who signed a 2-year, $15.5 million deal that has a max value of 18. Then you get cornerback Chidobe Awuzie, who signs a 3-year, $36 million deal that includes $23 million guaranteed. So they really improved their defense a lot, and that's not even it. They also get safety Jamal Adams on a 1-year deal. They also sign Nick Folk and Morgan Cox. But most importantly is a trade that they made, not anyone that they signed, but did later sign to a 4-year extension. They get cornerback L'Jarius Sneed, who they acquired in a trade with the Chiefs in exchange for a 2025 third-round pick and a swap with 2024 7th-round pick. Sneed later agreed to a 4-year, $76.4 million contract that includes $55 million guaranteed and $20 million signing bonus. Great pick for the Tennessee Titans there, getting a trade with the Chiefs done. And now they probably have one of, if not the best, cornerback pairing in the NFL. Moving on to the AFC West, you have the Denver Broncos, who we all know the quarterback turmoil that they've held, and Sean Payton really using Russell Wilson as a scapegoat for what happened, although Wilson was playing pretty well. Anyway, they get Zach Wilson, who they acquired in a trade with the Jets. They also get fullback Michael Burton, who re-signed on a 1-year deal. Wide receivers LaJordan Humphrey and Josh Reynolds also signed with the team. Adam Trotman signed with the team at tight end. Matt Pert, offensive tackle, signs a 1-year deal. Calvin Throckmorton signs a 1-year deal. Sam Mustipher also signs on a free agent deal. Then you move on to the defense. Defensive lineman Angelo Blackson, John Franklin Myers, and Malcolm Roach all signed with the team. John Franklin Myers, however, though, was acquired in a trade with the Jets for a 2026 draft pick. You also have defensive linebacker Cody Barton. Justin Strand also signed to the team as well. Levi Wallace signs on a 1-year deal. Brandon Jones signs a 3-year deal at safety. PJ Locke also re-signed to a 2-year deal. Then kicker Will Lutz also re-signed to Denver. Moving on, you have the defending Super Bowl champion, back-to-back champion, Kansas City Chiefs, who did make a lot of moves to improve this team. So, the most important moves that they got done is Chris Jones re-signs a 5-year, $158.75 million contract with a $101 million in guarantees. Then you also sign Travis Kelce to a 2-year contract worth $34.25 million, making him the highest paid tight end in the NFL. Kelce is still under contract through the 2025 season as well. You also got Mecole Hardman re-signing, as well as Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They also signed quarterback Carson Wentz to back up Patrick Mahomes. They also signed special teamer, wide receiver / running back Louise Rees-Zammit, who signed in a 3-year deal. They also get tight end Irv Smith to back up Travis Kelce. Edge rusher Michael Dana re-signed on a 3-year, $24 million deal that includes $13 million guaranteed. You also have defensive lineman Derek Nunati, who re-signed with the Chiefs. Terrence Wharton also re-signed on a free agent deal. Drew Tranquil re-signed a 3-year, $19 million contract that includes $13 million fully guaranteed. Defensive back Deion Bush re-signed on a free agent deal. Matt Ariza signed a deal for the league minimum, and long snapper James Winchester also re-signed with the Chiefs. So it looks like they're keeping most of the same pieces in place, just picking up depth wherever they can just to bolster the roster so as they make a run towards becoming the first three-peat champion. Moving on, Las Vegas Raiders. Not a whole lot of moves. They just they signed Christian Wilkins to a 4-year, $110 million contract that includes $84.75 million guaranteed. Got John Jenkins on a free agent who re-signed. Adam Butler re-signed. Andre James re-signed. Amir Abdullah re-signed as well. The only new players that they really picked up, they improved the offense by getting Gardner Minshew at quarterback. $25 million deal that includes $15 million guaranteed, so it looks like he'll be a bridge guy for the next 2 years while they try to figure things out at the quarterback position, or they might be eyeing the draft next year just to get Gardner Minshew's replacement, have Minshew mentor him for a year, and kick him to the curb. They also get running back Alexander Madison on a free agent deal. They also get wide receiver Michael Gallup on a $3 million 1-year deal. They also get Jalen Guyton. Andrus Peat also signs to the team, and Cody Whitehair signs to the team. So not a lot of moves for the Raiders. It looks like they're just going to be stuck in mediocrity. Los Angeles Chargers. Now, the biggest thing that they did was fire Brandon Staley. Fantastic move. They hired Jim Harbaugh. Fantastic move. What did they do to bolster the roster to help Justin Herbert? Jack crap. They re-signed Easton Stick, his backup. They also got J.K. Dobbins on a 1-year deal. Gus Edwards signed on a 2-year deal. So 2 guys who played with Lamar Jackson, who didn't get to really show a lot because Lamar Jackson is the leading running back and quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens. So moving on, they also get wide receiver DJ Chark to a 1-year deal to fill a big hole left by them trading away Keenan Allen to the Chicago Bears. Then you also have tight end Will Dissly, who signed a 3-year, $14 million contract with $10 million fully guaranteed. $10 million fully guaranteed to a guy who can't stay healthy. Then you also have tight end Hayden Hurst, who signed a free agent deal. Bradley Bozeman signs a 1-year contract. Poona Ford signs with the Chargers. Bud Dupree signed a 2-year, $6 million contract. Troy Dye also signed with the Chargers. Denzel Perryman, Christian Fulton, and Alohi Gilman also signed with the Chargers. So not a lot of moves for them either. It looks like they did very little to honestly help out Justin Herbert, who is a fantastic quarterback and is a great talent. He's a young guy, still on a rookie deal. Will probably be eyeing an extension at some point. Or no, he actually got a deal done. Never mind, my bad. But anyway, you still got a guy like Justin Herbert who eventually, if he keeps putting up with this type of stuff, is going to want out eventually. Hopefully Jim Harbaugh does have a plan for him. Otherwise, the Chargers are doomed. And that is all the time we have today for this video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It really does mean a lot to me to hear you guys tune in. Please give your fan feedback in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you guys think about these videos, what else we should try to do, and other stuff that you would like to see me do, as well as the other guys on the channel. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Like this video if you like this video. Click like, share, and subscribe if you are new. Tap the bell to get over post notifications, and we will see you at part 3 of the NFL offseason review. As always, see you guys.